Cause I got something to prove. I gotta take what I hate and finally make a move. I think of you and all the shit you don't do.
Hey, wrestling card collectors, welcome to another edition of WTCtv. I almost forgot what the hell I'm doing today because I just forgot everything today. We're starting late. But today we are going to do a pretty special episode today talking about these super hard to find limitless wrestling cards here. And I've got the three best guys in the world right now to talk about this stuff. Why don't you go introduce yourself? Start with you down there, Tony.
Hi, I'm Tony. I'm Cardboard Picker on Twitter. I've been doing wrestling cards since probably 2010. Yeah, I love wrestling, man. That's me. I'm Tony. I'm one of the many Tonys.
You and me both, man.
Yep.
And how about we got returning Caleb, man? What's going on, man?
How's it going, everybody? Caleb, collecting with Caleb on Twitter and Instagram. Been chatting with Tony and Matt for the past couple months about these cards, trying to track them down and everything. And I'm really excited to get to share some of that info we found.
Yeah, you got a really cool YouTube thing starting here with all your independent stuff, man. I'm digging that. That stuff is great information, great resources.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I've been trying to do some documentation for the indie side of stuff.
That's awesome, man. And last but not least,
Matt Delakis, M Delakis on Twitter. Been a wrestling fan all my life, and just love wrestling cards and the community. Met a lot of great people, and just gets better every day.
Well, let's just jump right into this, man. We've got, I am not an expert at these things. I'm learning through you guys, and I archive information stuff. I don't own probably a single card from any of these sets unless I stumble across something in storage, which is always possible with me. So I'm happy to have you guys on here to educate not only me, but anybody who's listening or watching this. That these cards, man, they're tough, right? I mean, they're real tough. We're talking, these things came out from like 2018, 19, and 20, I believe, right?
Yep. 3 series.
Well, hey, Matt, why don't you start off with Series 1? Let's little about that.
Well, Series 1, I love MJF, and I've loved them since the independent days. And I would Google MJF card, and then the Series 1, I have 2, luckily, but this card would pop up on Michael Lobby, who's a huge Limitless wrestling. He's the man, and I will just say he has a book, so everything about it is in here, and he's wonderful and a great resource. But these would pop up on his site, and I go, "What is that card, and how do I get it?" eBay searches, just you name it. And one day, Tony Cardboard Picker, he posted he hit the jackpot, and that started probably one of the craziest 3 months of collecting and obsession that I've had in a very long time.
Absolutely.
So it's gotten to the point where I am lucky to have all 3 series and the special cards, Series 1. But we have, the cool part is, and each of us could chime in on this, is the story behind these cards and the print runs, and this is what sort of makes it special, and not many people have them.
Well, what is the big mystery of these cards, guys? I mean, why are they so hard to come by? Anybody?
I mean, it's from a small promotion in Maine. Heck, even people that go to the wrestling events didn't even know about these cards. Like, they had no clue that they had limitless cards, and they come in pack form. They're not set.
So here's a pack, just so you know.
Oh, cool.
I have a couple packs, and I've ordered from the site and did get them before for Series 3, but it just comes in a pack like this, not like a regular.
So it's a team bag with some kind of a sticker that holds it together.
It's a team bag. That's it.
Okay.
So.
Crazy, man. What do you think there, Caleb? I mean, you look like are you blown away by this too, or what?
Yeah, like Matt said, I had not really seen much about these cards. And I remember right before we all started like really going after them hard, I had seen Tony tweet, "When you see limitless wrestling cards, you buy them." And then when he posted some for sale, that was in the back of my mind. And that was at a time when Zan was doing his Karrion Kross super collecting, like player PC.
Still is.
Yep.
Well,
That's when he was like getting started with it and sharing it and everything. And I was thinking, man, it would be really fun to have something to do after I finished the Undertaker collection, the Streak PC. So I started looking through Tony's cards, trying to decide who I was going to go after from those Limitless cards to kind of build a player PC around. And he had some Alley Cat cards in that first batch that he listed up. And that was someone that I've been following a lot on GCW. There's a Series 2 one.
Yep.
And Series 3. And so I messaged him, made a deal for those, and a couple of other cards to kind of just get the Limitless collection going. And then, like Matt said, it was an obsession for all three of us for a good couple of months. We were like cold messaging people like, hey, I saw you attended a Limitless wrestling show in 2018. Do you have any of these cards?
This is the best.
Wow.
We went through Twitter 3 years back, searching every hashtag, and we'd each find a different hashtag occasionally, and then we'd find another person that had it that the other person didn't know, and then they'd be like, oh, and then you sit there up till. I seriously, people thought I was so weird. I'm like, hey, this is random, but I collect Limitless Wrestling Cards. Do you have any? And they're like, who are you? And why are you asking this? But some people are like,
you weren't the only one.
No. Yeah, they're like, why is 3 guys?
Oh my god!
First things you got that stalker, man. Like, this is great.
Tony, Cardboard Picker, helped me with mine. So when I saw the autograph one, there's only a few.
That was crazy. Did you just hear that?
This was actually taken from a photographer that worked for the promotion in AEW. She's a wonderful person. Her name is Jessica. And I have the documentation of her getting this autograph, and she started a Limitless Wrestling autograph collection. And I got Ethan Page, Anthony Green, who's a legend there. He's like the god of wrestling there. And then Chris Statlander, which is awesome. But I got these from Tony, which sort of started it. And then the ball started rolling, like, how do I get more? How do I get more? And they're never on eBay. Just recently, there's been a few on eBay, and you really just had to do dirty work and just message people. And I was messaging the wrestlers, the announcers. Lobby helped a ton too. So I know we'll get into more how that worked, but it was just seriously every day, message someone else, find out more. We'd share it with each other so we know, just because we wanted to make sure that when this was completed, we could share it with everyone and see, have as much information we can about these things.
Let's talk a little bit more about these sets in the sense of, what do we know? We don't even know print runs. How were they originally distributed? There's like in variations, you can tell from variations by, I remember reading something about yellowing on the backs or something like that, or what is that all about? You want to take it, Tony?
Yeah, I'll take it from there. When I first got that lot from Jessica, like Matt spoke of, man, most of them were all yellow evenly. I don't know if I got pictures, but they were yellow around like the border of the card. And I assumed possibly that like heat damage is like sun or heat damage is what I thought about it. And I'm like, man, that stinks. Come to find out, there was an issue with the print process, and the yellow ones are actually more valuable because it was the first run, and then they switched their process. And from, I have 2 MJFs.
See that?
Yeah, that's very distinct.
Yeah, one's yellow and one is white. Yeah, there you go, Matt.
Yeah,
you can really see it on a lot of the Buffalo Boys cards.
Yeah, Buffalo Boys.
Yep. So.
Oh yeah. Look at you guys just whipping out like whipping out $100 bills, man. Like tune.
Hey, like I told these 2 guys, I bought Jessica Christmas.
Yeah, I bought a lot of Christmas gifts. I helped Tony buy some Christmas gifts too.
Yep.
And also, speaking of the cards that came from Jessica, this was another one I got from Tony by way of her, the Darby Allin.
Nice.
So we went back and screenshotted like people that posted about these. I have a whole folder on my phone from when they released them for the tournament, the date, when they said, hey, they're available. Jessica had her pictures of all of the autograph ones that she was collecting. She was sort of displaying them in this nice piece. So that's the cool part too, is we have almost all the backup, the Buffalo Boys card, which we'll get into that. we could say, here's where it was, here's the release date, series 2, series 3. So it's really, I love it. It's really fun.
Do we, 'cause I'm just using the WTC website to try to get some information while I'm talking to you guys here. And I see quite a bit of information that we have for series 1.
Right.
Almost no information from series 2.
I have, I'm going to pull up my Limitless folder here.
And very little information on series 3. So it seems like all the information is from series 1.
Series 3 is probably the most obtainable, except certain cards. They on Christmas, on Black Friday, I actually was refreshing the site and they popped up 4 packs, and I got the 4 packs that they had. And I needed a Chris Statlander to complete series 3, and they actually sent me these moments pack instead. And I was like, oh my God, I was so excited to get the regular series 3 cards that look like this. Sent me this, and he's like, the owner or the promoter said, just keep these and I'll send you some packs. And the Chris Statlander was on there and completed it. I was so happy. But then it come to find out that there's a unreleased series 3, thanks to Michael Lobby, and he got his hands on them, and it was this Josh Briggs who had made comments, and I thought before I had all the cards, and luckily now I do have it to complete series 3. He had maybe 3 or 4 because he's so pipelined in with them, and a great guy. Series 2, I'm looking. I don't know if you want to add some more until I find that, Tony or Caleb.
What do we add? Series 2 has
June 25th, 2019. Card subject to change is the printer. They put that on their Facebook. So that's when.
Which, by the way, is also a new card set coming out.
It is. And so they're all pipelined in. Anthony Green's in charge of it.
Yep.
And it's funny because I have some of the cards he did that are not Limitless, but these are some that he printed. I got this from Tony, also autographed Anthony Green, but he does sort of the impel back.
Oh, nice.
That's
and then
cool.
This is sort of another one I picked up in one of the lots that he did. And he had some really cool 91 retro. So I think these things are going to be awesome. When they
are those part of any kind of a series at all, or just one-offs?
He did his own series. He'd sell at the shows, and I could have picked up more, but I was more focused on these. But he really had some he used some old designs from 91 and other cards, and then made sort of his new ones too. So I think that people are going to be pretty happy with these.
Got to get those archives somehow up on the website so people know.
Yeah, so this is like 00 on the back, and it's proving ground, so it must have been from one of the shows, and he did it for that show. Not huge print runs or anything like that. Just cool.
Still like to have the information on that added to the site, even if it's a one-off. I mean, there's just several. I've got a couple of Ted DiBiase did a one-off for himself, for a trading card.
Jessica knows too. She has a lot of them. She had a ton of Anthony Greens because, she's like, do you know who Anthony Green is? I'm like, yeah. She's like, good, because he's like the top man there.
Yep.
And you guys should be pretty excited for my upcoming interview coming up.
Oh,
right.
Teaser.
Series 2, I'll just pull it, is different. And what was really cool about this, we didn't know cards existed because they're not numbered. Series 1 is numbered. Series 2 and 3 is not. So we would be talking, and I'd find someone that has them. Yeah, there's series 1. So here's a series 2. They put stats. Series 1 just said Limitless and MJF.
Gotcha.
But when I discovered this, I remember sending it. Remember that when I sent that to you? I mean, I was going nuts. I'm like, dude, there's another MJF. I can't believe it.
We had seen a lot of the cards that had existed or that we knew existed up to that point, and we thought there was only Series 3 MJF, or I know me and Matt thought there was only Series 3 MJF and Series 1 MJF, and I had finally gotten the Series 3 MJF, and I was like, I've got all the indie cards of MJF, and then Matt puts a picture in our chat. It was like, there's another one. Come on.
Yeah.
Look at that, man. That's great. What is the curious for me, like, what is the card stock like on those? Are they like,
I got all of them out.
Like comparable to
these are actually a really, I don't know if you can see the gloss.
Yeah.
That's a Chris Statlander. They're a real thick, nice card. I mean,
all three series.
Well, the first series, we'll pull that up here.
First series is the best.
Yeah. What'd you say?
The first series is the highest
First
quality.
series is beautiful. I have to say they are. Hold on, I got it right here without. So first series is super thick, like thicker than a lot of cards, and they have a gloss on it too. And then the back has a gloss.
Okay.
Series 2 does not. One thing about these,
that looks like a really nice thing. I mean, it's
I mean,
almost
it
like
is
like a 98 Superstar thick almost.
Yeah, it's they went. I mean, they spent some money on this print for sure. This is not a flimsy card, so you can see it. Now for condition, you know how people are always like, it has to be a gem mint 10.
Sure,
you're not getting gem mint 10 on these cards. They came in these packs. People opened them up at the shows. They threw them in drawers. One thing, you get corners that are nice, but with that gloss, you're going to get little scratches in them. I mean, you could go through and there's dents, or like if someone just set something on it.
And the gloss will chip a little bit too. So like with this Ace Romero, I have like a chip right in the middle of his face there, if you can see that.
Just make it look like it's a tooth flying out or something.
That's
exactly. Exactly. And then series 3 is probably, they did a little bit different. So it has a gloss on it too, but they put a lot more on the back and a picture. So they got, each series got a little more added to it. No numbers though, again, but they did the stats and then put a little picture up here. And
so we only have series 1's all numbered, series 2 and 3 are not.
Exactly. And then there is the moment set that they sold, which was, it was actually available on the site for up until maybe January, early January. And then I've got a series 1, or the first print where they're all yellowed in the back from somebody who must have got it at a show. But I have a bunch of these. These are just moments, not an individual person. And then one card that we love a ton is the Buffalo Boys card, which is a Daniel Garcia, Puff, Kevin Bennett, and Kevin Blackwood. They got, this would consider series 1, and it's 0-0. So if you're a series 1 completist, this is a must. They got into a car accident after a show, and they love this community. They love Limitless. Like it's like, I'm gonna go to a show one day. I owe a lot of people beers because I was like, I'm gonna buy you a beer when I go. But they just love the passion they have behind it. You just appreciate it so much. And then they released these Buffalo Boys card. If you spent $5, for every $5 you spent, you got a card.
Look at the flex.
Yeah, the flex.
These are, if you look, these are first series, and then they clean them up. And this is, look at that difference.
Yeah.
But there isn't many of these floating around, and people that have it, they hold it near and dear to their heart because they love these guys, and you really appreciate it, because some people are like, I'm not getting rid of that card. I mean, this is staying with me.
That seems to be the case with a lot of wrestling cards. I know Zan and I've talked about this because the hobby is smaller, print runs are less. People in this hobby, in this niche, seem to just not let things go, period.
Right.
Especially for their, whatever they deem their holy grails like that. And this Limitless set seems to be like, and this entire set seems to be like, kind of like that. Like people who have it just aren't letting them go.
No, they don't. We know, I mean, but they're now, I think we should get into the print run rumors and what we have too.
Absolutely.
That's sort of important for this. And it sort of shows you how tough it is to get them. And we've talked to the printers, and we've talked to people that, we've asked a lot of questions. So Tony, I'll let you answer that one because you reached out first. I have your screenshots, but.
Yep. I contacted Card Subject to Change, and I got into a conversation with that gentleman. I found out that, they were the company that printed the cards. And, my biggest thing is, I know they're hard to find, but what's the print run? Because print run is the end all be all. If it's, who knows? So after a long conversation with that gentleman, I'm like, he wouldn't give me an exact number, but we came around 20, and he says that could probably be. So we're looking at like a 20 print run. Is that what we're going with, Matt? Yeah, I think that's what series
1.
Yep.
He said that he thinks it's about a 20. I think I have it in here. He did not say it's large. He says they got a smaller print run. They released it at that cup and they probably had it on a table. I actually have the picture of how it came there.
You're talking there's
No,
only 20 complete sets?
That's what the print card subject to change.
Of a first run with the yellow borders, did they go back
No.
and reprint more with no,
Of the first series is what he
totally complete?
Just
Yep.
total. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
said.
If it's yellow version, so you're sitting on like 25% of this inventory right there.
And that's part of the thing that's been helpful about having a group where we can like communicate what we've found and everything. Because when you start doing the math after Tony had that conversation, it's like, okay, Matt's got 2 of the MJFs, Tony's got a couple, I've got one. Like how many?
Lobby.
Yep,
Lobby.
he's got some. There's another account on Twitter, like wrestling. It's not wrestling trading cards. I get you guys confused a lot.
Oh, wrestling. It's wrestling trading cards, I believe. Yeah, it's
Is
wrestling
it?
cards. Yeah.
Wrestling
That's
wrestling cards.
Armand.
Yep, he has a couple as well. So
Yep.
like when you start doing the math, there's probably not that many left out there.
And if
Oh,
yeah.
And the channels we tried to find more on, we've exhausted everything
He's
for months.
exhausted.
For
Except I
months.
did get a Danhausen today. I worked 2 months messaging somebody, and he would give me an answer, and then I waited, and I was like, you know what? I'll keep messaging him. Finally today, I sent him some money, and I got another. This is another one, Series 3, and we loved it. We love our Danhausen, but this is the Series 3 Danhausen, and it's old makeup. And he wrestled he had 3 matches in 2019, 2020. So this one does not pop up a lot for 3. You could get I have tons of Series 3. This one doesn't show up very often, and I got another one coming. I just hope it comes in one piece because they've never shipped cards. But none of these people shipped cards. I told them
Yep.
Oh
how to
God.
do it, and you had good faith. I sent a PayPal to someone in Maine, nicest people in the world, and you said, well, that's either coming or not. And this is my grail of a card. And I was like, man, it could come and it came in a sandwich bag, wrapped up, and the corners were, I'm not kidding. Of all my cards, a lot of them, I told them, sandwich bag, no rubber bands, put some cardboard around it, and it made it.
That's great.
The messages are hilarious. I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be interesting.
So it's just crazy. So you're reaching out to people who attended a show, and these guys have they're not a collectible bone in their body when it comes to cards. It sounds like, and they were handing them out. I mean, I'm assuming they handed them out. They were not for sale. They were just handed out, or you bought them.
They were at
because like PWG, the first 2 releases for PWG, they were the first release, the very first Bola set was just given away. It was printed and handed out to people, and that was it. It was not for sale.
Here's the tweet from Limitless Wrestling, 7/27/2018. It says, Limitless Wrestling trading cards will be available at the 2018 Vacation Land Cup. And they had them out like this. And I
had that picture too. I have that. I saved
yes.
that.
And then I have a picture, trying to find it because I was just looking at this. Anyway, they came with the MJF in just like this, sitting on a table probably. They probably said, we'll make some cards. And then people bought them and either took them home, and who knows how many didn't make it home or they got dropped or whatnot, because these aren't mass-produced cards.
Well, there's only 20 sets.
That's from the printer. I mean, I was just looking at that like, man, that's pretty crazy. But yeah, so who knows? And then they did sell some on the website. I don't know if they did a Series 1 or Series 2, but Series 3's been on there. It still is if you go on Limitless Trading Cards. It says sold out.
Yeah.
But
what is that Limitless Moments one? Because I don't see that on the checklist site anywhere on WTC.
This is a 9-card set. I have like a ton of them, but they are numbered. They say moments, and it just sort of tells like a match. Like this is Brian Fury's final match, 11/19/16, and this is Donovan Dijak versus Ace Romero for first time.
Did that come out last year?
What's that?
Did that come out in 2021?
Yeah, it was after, right?
Yeah. This came out around Series 3 or after Series 3, so this would be a 2020.
That's a 2020?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just
Cody Rhodes.
trying to do my homework here and trying to find out what we're missing, and I don't see a Limitless
Moments.
checklist anywhere.
So I could send it to you. I know I've been busy and I get scans, but this is a separate set of it. So this is part of the whole lore of the
Love to get it and put it up there, man. I mean, I know that it was nice that people were like, I got probably one of the biggest responses of putting up anything independent wise, which of course was the main goal when we relaunched WTC. Right. The main goal really was to start getting all the indie stuff done first. We all know about the top stuff. We all have access to that kind of thing, and all the things that were being missed since 2014. So Chuckster was like, I really like to get the indie stuff done. I said, oh, that's my main goal, because I got so many guys clamoring for authenticating these things, sending them into grading, and it just helps the process, I hope. And so that was the first thing we got done, was all the indie stuff was done. And then for some reason, the Limitless stuff just kind of slipped the cracks with us and wasn't done. And then not to like, what, a couple months ago, maybe?
We got it. We finished it probably, do you guys say early December?
I say December. December pops in my head.
Yeah.
It started in October and it ended around December. And then the Briggs, I was so bummed when Lobby messaged me and goes, hey, I have a card you don't have. And I was like, it's always a surprise. You're like, I'm sitting here going, I got all of them, and then I gotta get this one. And luckily I have it. Series 2 was sold on the website because I have their tweet when they did it. So this is screenshotted back from 2019. So 2 and 3 on the website, Series 1 at the show. And I do have a picture of a guy who I did buy some cards from, a great guy. He actually said MJF wasn't at the show, but his likeness was there, and he had the pack with this card sitting on it to a DVD.
Yeah, I can. We added the checklist officially. Series 1 was added to the website on December 7th, and then Series 2 and 3 were added on December 9th.
This is another cool thing I got with one of the guys who we all bought cards from, I believe, but this was Daniel Garcia, just a picture. And it came with his cards, and it says Mikey paid, and he must have had his cards because he goes to every show. Awesome guy. And he kept this with the cards when he sent them to me, and it just showed, hey, Mikey paid for his cards and take them home.
That's
So
nice.
Receipt.
That's a nice receipt. Yeah.
I love Daniel Garcia, so I think that's pretty cool to have it.
Mm-hmm. I never got the kind of feedback that I got from posting that, when they made it to the checklist site complete like that, and everyone's like, finally, thank God they're added to the checklist. So I'm gonna have to get those moments ones from you guys at some point, if I can get the checklist for that, and even a sample image, because I kind of refuse to post anything. I have like 53 checklists right now sitting in draft format that I won't post until I have at least a sample image of it to post up there, to kind of give it some kind of like flair. I'm just kind of stupid like that. And I just like to have, at least one image, eventually I like to have all the images, because surprisingly now we are at the stage where we're adding images to everything right now for the checklist. Like I have all the images from pre-2014 already, all the stuff we had before. Just got to redo it. I have to relink everything. So yep, that's a big process.
Oh man.
So, I mean, it's just, it's always going to be a work in progress. And, I got Chuckster. He's like, well, if you want to train an old guy like me, I'll be happy to try. I was like, but be patient. Like, Chuckster, I'm telling you, man, I could train. I trained David, the other co-owner of WTC. I can train anybody.
Yeah.
So it was great.
One cool thing from the Facebook page for Card Subject to Change, they had the proof, and I don't know if it was supposed to be, but they had a black background of the card and they're white, and it says proof. So I, stuff like that, I went through and just sort of took pictures, and Google's probably like, man, this guy's obsessed with something called Limitless, because for like 3 months, I was going down some crazy paths. The one thing I have to say is everyone was
Limitless ended him up on Pornhub at some point, guaranteed.
I was like, Limitless, oh, there's an MJF and something else. I'll take the MJF too. But the one part that was sort of funny is doing these hashtags, and you'd get something in your head and be like, maybe someone spelled it wrong or did this, and then you'd see another one, and I knew they didn't know about it, and I was like, DM. I'm like, hey, do you want to sell these? I'll buy them. Then I'd tell them, and they'd be like, how'd you find it? And I'm like, oh, well,
So with this collecting between the three of you guys, from what I'm hearing, it's like, was there any like a little bit of rivalry?
None.
Well,
Man.
say so for
I
me.
sold them good stuff, man. I'm good.
Yeah, Caleb and I, we really connected on this, and it's great. And Tony, we have us three, we talk, and then we talk a lot, but if anything, it just is, there's not a rivalry. It's almost
like a healthy
we
competition.
were excited to get it out there for everybody because we're so passionate about it, and a lot of people don't know. And I think it's tough if you don't. Obviously, someone's not going to be as excited as I am about it because I have them sitting here and we did this work for it. But we want other people to be excited about it, and we want these to be known because there's a lot of stars in these sets. And when you're a collector, you're sitting there going, I got, we'll be in a group chat and they're like, oh, I got the MJF, and I'll be like, oh, do you have that one? And they're like, no. I'm like, I know, because there's probably like 5. And I'm a completist of him, so that's what fueled this obsession to get all these. Darby too. That's Darby's first card, and people go back and forth with the Bola. I don't want to say rookie card, we'll say first card, but technically this came out a couple months before the Bola because we go and we look at all the timestamps.
Yep.
And so this one is a little. There's these little things that just make it that much more to the.
It's that rookie season, though.
No rookie. Not a rookie. I'm not saying that word.
What do you got, Caleb? What do you got there, Caleb?
I'm calling them rookies, man.
I'm calling them rookies, man.
Rookie.
I think it helps the conversation a little bit, even if people want to argue back and forth about it. I've seen a lot of people kind of dunking on indie cards for not being true rookies. But that's kind of one of the things I'm hoping to stand up for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of the flag bearer right now when it comes to the rookie, the indie stuff. And there's going to be people out there it's like, well, it wasn't made by a major manufacturer. It wasn't pack pulled. It wasn't that. You know what? At the end of the day, who gives a shit? Because it's whatever you're going to be into. It makes you happy and you collect anyways. And you know what? If it's from a monetary side standpoint, the market will always dictate that anyways. And so if an MJF from Limitless is going to sell for more than his AEW Upper Deck Premier card, I think the market just answered the question then. So we know what's going to be worth it and what's not.
One thing about the AEW cards, which are great, and it's brought a lot of new collectors in, is this opens the gateway to, you think you have an MJF rookie because you're new to the hobby, and then you go, oh well, he had an all-in card, and then what is this one I've never seen? And then you look at this, go on your website, and you start looking and go, then you realize there's a lot of other people like Daniel Garcia had a series 2. This was he was 1 in 3. Then he had a series 3. But there's Cody Rhodes. There's Chris Statlander. There's a ton of John Silver. Like all these AEW guys are almost in this set. Keith Lee's in it. So there's just a lot. It's not just focused on these. There's just a lot of people. I mean, there's a lot of cards in each set too. So it's not here's cool. This is
Hey, Matt. I took some time and I wrote down all the first cards out of Series 1 before we went on today. Let me just run through those real quick. You got Alley Cat. You got Anthony Green. Brian Cage. Cody Rhodes. It's not his first card, but his first indie card, I guess you could say. Chris Dickinson. Christian Casanova. NXT guy. Darby. Dijak. All Ego. Keith Lee. Janela. Blackwood. Stat. MJF. Brody King and the Buffalo Boys, Daniel Garcia.
See, but that's what makes it so.
One series.
And if you think it's just a couple cards, this is without the MJF and Darby and All Ego. That is series 1. That's a lot of cards.
That's a 64 card set plus the Buffalo one, making a 65 card set basically.
65 card set, and there's a lot of names in there.
Yeah, I just looking over at just looking at the checklist because you even got some established names in there too, like Paul London and Petey Williams and stuff like that. They're in there. I mean, it's Ciampa's in there too. Ciampa. You got a lot of names in there. I mean, there's just a lot of stuff. Like I was unaware of this card, so I think I've seen a couple here and there over the years like that, just wherever through on social media some way, and just kind of like, it wasn't my cup of tea because I wasn't collecting. But now people are kind of clamoring for, I think, because you guys, and I think they're finding out that just how hard these card sets are,
I want
especially
to
at
give
Series 1.
I want to give credit to Michael Lobby though, because he was the originator of having these, and his site, and I can't think of it offhand, but if you
Wrestling Insomniac.
yeah, Wrestling Insomniac, he is a huge wrestling lover. Nice guy, helped us out a ton. I mean, he's helped us out a ton. He had his own checklist and everything that sort of we pieced together. But again, has the book. There's a write-up of every wrestler that's wrestled in there. A lot of the pictures are from the cards, and he only collects autographed cards and doesn't sell his cards. But that's where you really got eyes on someone and said, wow, they're in that set. They're in that set. So I want to make sure he has the credit. We just sort of took it a little further to get where we're at, but he's the man of it.
Yep.
That's amazing. Is there going to be a Series 4?
Yes, we've heard there's a Series 4 in the works, and I'm sure, I don't know who they're going to put in it, because obviously it's been a couple years out. People haven't been wrestling in there because they've been AEW and stuff. So it'll be interesting to see who's in it. But I'm sure it's going to be an awesome looking set, because Series 3, they added some, different flair to it. And I think they know there's a little, I want to say heat behind the product, because I've messaged the Limitless promoter and I said, look, if you have any feedback on this, or they think we're crazy, I'm sure, but
They have to.
No, they're like, no, these are passionate guys. It's like, we can make some money off these guys.
yeah,
Yeah,
right.
I mean, it's I like even if they're like new people that people haven't heard of, it's still really cool. I've been doing a lot of interviews lately with a lot of indie promoters who've been putting out their own card sets, and these are people that nobody really knows. And the thing is, like, well, you don't know where they're going to be at in 5 years or 3 years or 10 years. I mean, we have no idea. So it's just so cool. People are actually, and it's a cheap way to market your promotion too. Really cheap way
I'll
to
show
market
you. Look at this. They actually put rookie on some of the cards, which they didn't do that before. So they've evolved, and they do, like they did a Let's Wrestle. This was sort of a little subset off Series 3, but they're starting to actually, I mean, this is a bunch of, like, I don't even know who he is, but I mean, they're starting to label them and say, well, we got some rookie cards. So it's sort of cool. That's a little part people probably don't really look at, but I'm like, man, they're starting to think about some things.
Those are what,
Yeah.
Series 3 cards?
This is Series 3, yeah, and these are different. They don't have stats of their wrestling on the back. They have a write-up. This was a little offshoot. I consider it part of Series 3, but it was a little different format for these cards.
I don't even know if I haven't had that on the checklist either.
Well, you probably have the names in there, but I think you
Yeah.
can almost take
They're
these
Series
separate
3.
out as a little subset of Series 3.
Gotcha.
Like printed at the end or something, right?
Yeah, it's a little bit different. I think they sold this. They sold this separate on the site too, though, because they released a few. I think about a month ago. So
Yeah.
So that's something I'm not speculating on because I saw it, but I still consider it part of Series 3.
All that little fun fact information I like to have on the information.
It's always something
section of
different.
the checklist. Got to get it on there, man. So, hey, between you three guys, and I mean, check out the checklist that we have on the website. Make sure it's accurate. The information is missing something. Like I'm so detail oriented now more than I was before, because even though I don't collect cards like I used to, and I've been saying it a lot more in the last year, I'm a collector of information now. That's what I want.
Right.
If these things came in packs and actually sold like regular packs that had a UPC, I want the UPC number off of it. I want to have it had pack variations. I want images of the pack variations like that too. I want everything. That's what I kind of want for the checklist page. So if you guys got information like that, like this is like a subset sort of the main set, it was released at this time. I mean, the more information, the better. It just educates collectors, man.
Right. And I think the screenshots help and what we found. And I actually wore myself out of it. I was telling them, I was like, I needed to take a break. And then when the Briggs came up, I was like, oh, you never could sleep with this thing because something else is gonna keep popping up. It's wild.
Come this far, might as well keep going.
Yeah, I'm not gonna stop. I mean, as the Series 4 comes out, I'm gonna be all over that. I'll go to Maine. I'll fly to Maine, go to a show and pick them up myself. I really will.
Where do you guys think these sets are going to be held at in 5-10 years from now?
Take that one.
Oh gosh. All right. Um,
Yeah,
well, since this week the Roman Reigns super fractor sold, did you see that yesterday?
15K.
Yeah, I'm the one that sold it to the dude.
Oh,
So yeah, I sold like 2015 or something like that. Anyways, I don't. I think they're the long term. The word has to get out on them. The print run is small. It's very niche. I think long term is positive on any of these cards, but people need to find them too. You know what I mean? And have the information like from your site to really get into these cards. You know?
Well, and the few people who actually collect them and have them, like I said, they're going to be very condition sensitive as it is. So even if someone, like, nothing's going to get a 10, but someone's like, oh my God, I pulled a 9 or I pulled an 8. I mean, that's going to be the high set, the high card, number. I think it's going to be important to have that information put out there. And I think these things can go up. I mean, there's a lot of new eyeballs, especially some of those guys are all in AEW, and
yeah.
AEW is gaining so much steam, and Upper Deck is doing everything they can to really push this product out there. And we have a lot of new eyeballs in that product. And like you said, Matt, guys are gonna go like, oh, you think you got all of MJF stuff? Oh, we ain't seen nothing yet. Look at this. And these
Right.
people are gonna go after that kind of stuff now. And we might start seeing some of these start hitting, $1,000, $2,000 one day,
I really am passionate about it. I think with all the stars, I think this is a set where even the commons, if you see right now on eBay, Series 3 commons are selling for what, $30 a piece, $40 a piece.
Yeah, like 30, 40.
Wow.
Yeah, that's Series 3. Series 1, people are always like, hey, can I get those? But I know what it's like to, I'm not much of a seller, but I know these things don't grow on trees, and they're sitting here. But I think sky's the limit, and especially these are young stars. This isn't like MJF. I mean, he's unreal, and this to me is like the Grail MJF card. I mean, I wouldn't get part with them. I don't know. I wouldn't part with these if someone made me a monster offer, just because I know what it took to get him, and I know that he's 25 years old, and that is going to go like this.
Come on. Ted DiBiase said it best, man. Everybody's got a price.
Everyone's got a price, but I got a high price for that.
Yeah, especially
Mine
for
are
that
available.
Mine
are available.
Yeah. He's like, don't feel bad, man. I know I saw the look on your face. Like, I'm the one that sold that Roman Reigns card. And I was like, you can't live in the past, man. Can't do it.
No, I don't, man.
You're
I wouldn't have what I had today, but yeah, it's just a good story now, man.
You're talking to a guy like, I sold 6 years ago. I sold my, 82 All-Stars, Hogan, Flair, Andre. And I sold them for like a fraction of what they're going for right now. And I'm like, but I'm into the whole series for $25 for all 3 sets. $25 cool. A set.
Right.
So cool. That's what I bought them for back in the day. And then, I sold Hogan for 500, Andre and Flair for $300 a piece. That's a huge profit margin based on what I paid for it. So
absolutely, man.
Oh, it
absolutely.
is.
Do I want $10,000 for a Hogan card? Yeah, but I can't live in the past.
Yeah, you can't.
Especially for these cards, I think it's important that when at all possible, we float some out into the market, and that's been something that I'm trying to do. We talked about them being condition sensitive, and you're not going to find any in very high grades. But I recently sent in Darby Allin to CSG, and right now they're the only ones that are grading indie cards. And that is kind of a way to, I think it gives it some legitimacy to the set to have one of those cards in a slab, regardless of what the grade is, and to be able to put that out and share it and say, like, these are legit cards. And then hopefully get people to do some more research.
You've gone out. So you said, which company again that was doing that? CSG. So PSA turned you down?
PSA wouldn't even grade GCW cards.
Right.
Beckett has graded the GCW Spring Break cards, but their turnaround times and their prices is like $250 a card or something like that. So I didn't do the most research into Beckett. I messaged back and forth with SGC. They told me like in 45 seconds, like, no, we're not going to grade these. I messaged CSG and they talked with their head grader. And they had me send them pictures, and I sent some checklist info from WTC, and they emailed me back that they would accept them. So I sent in an order of some GCW cards, a Limitless card, and one of the high spots trading cards as well to them to get into some slabs.
I wonder what it's going to take for
PSA.
PSA, Beckett, SGC to start, recognizing these cards.
It's going to take a little while. It's definitely going to take a little while.
Well, I mean, time-wise, we know, but what key things do you think they're looking for to make these things legitimate? Like,
they need one of these in hand to see. I really think that would be a big difference.
But in my conversations when I was looking to talk to these grading companies and stuff, I talked to David Peck. He referred me to Rob England about PSA. And when I talked to Rob, he said there's a chance that they may never grade them just because of the lower scale of production, kind of like a mom and pop trading.
But here, hold on. Sorry to cut you off, Caleb. But here's my 2 cents.
Yeah.
If you can grade a one of one roast beef set, you can grade these and produce indie cards, brother.
Very good point.
That is a great point.
Very good point.
Yeah, I agree. And that is a very good point.
Done.
When I was talking to CSG, I had done some research because once you create an account on there, they have like a forum that you can go on, and there's a specific sub forum for asking questions about getting cards graded and whatnot. And I looked back through, and somebody had this like small batch paintball trading card series, and they're like, yeah, sure, we'll grade it, send it in. And so when I saw that, I was like, if they turn down these Limitless Wrestling cards,
Right.
heated.
I feel like I need to, you know what? I may off air, I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about this.
Yeah.
I have an idea for a project that I want to do to possibly help this market out.
I like it.
I have an idea. So, well,
We're the guys we're behind it.
I should also say with BGS, something I forgot to mention earlier is Ryan Cracknell, I believe, on Twitter, was able to get me in contact with their wrestling database person. I sent them an email of a bunch of checklists from GCW sets, Limitless, High Spots, AAW, like all the big indie sets that we collect. So I haven't heard anything back from them. I'm not sure what they did with that information, but I sent it in hopes of getting that added to their database.
I can tell you this right now, guys, because I'm using WordPress for the site now, almost weekly, I get there's a thing called pingback on WordPress. I don't know if anybody here is familiar with what pingbacks are. So I get anywhere from 6 to 15 plus a week pingbacks on my website. A lot of the stuff I have a plugin that filters out all the spam crap, like, hey, me love you long time type of stuff. That goes away. So I have to look for that. But these are like legit pingbacks from somewhere, something, doesn't tell me where it's coming from. It's from the same exact IP. So I got to go look it up and try and figure it out. But I suspected it might have come from someplace that I won't say, but I'm wondering if it might be from some grading companies, maybe, or I don't know, maybe.
Hopefully so.
Well, your site has to be the #1 place they go to,
I would think,
for legitimacy.
People say for modern stuff, they go, it's Cardboard Connection. I think blowout cards for modern stuff as well. I know that Paul from the Price Guide, from Wrestling Card Price Guide, an excellent resource. I think what sets him back a bit and not using him so much as a resource is because he actually lists prices for things, and they're not looking for people who are trying to sell stuff. They're looking for someone to actually authenticate with facts and information about it. So and that's kind of where Paul and I work together to try maybe a 1-2 punch in that respect. So we're just doing what we can to try to legitimize these things. And I love, for those who want to get them slabbed, I love for companies to say, hey, let's slab these things, man.
Yeah, I'd love to.
I think they were slabbing certain ones. I thought I saw some cards from BGS like that. They were only authenticating autograph versions of them.
PSA is doing that.
Okay.
They'll give you a slab that just says trading card on the label instead of like 2019 GCW.
You want the database to start a possible registry on that kind of stuff too. It'd be nice.
Absolutely, man.
Absolutely.
That gives it a sense of legitimacy, I think.
Yeah.
They're legit beautiful cards, and I know we're very passionate about it, but this isn't like someone just was in their basement and on a laser printer. They put a lot of time and effort into these. I go from the yellowing, some of those leaked out, but they fixed them, made them nice, and the gloss and the thickness. I mean, it's just a beautiful card.
I hope we someday to have legitimacy in them and having them slabbed at some point. I mean, for many people just want them raw; they don't care. But I think just to make them like, hey, these are legit, man. We got a few that are slabbed now. You know, I love to see one of you guys go after a full set registry on one of them one day.
Man, I was CSG recently just put out their pop report. They've been like building up enough orders to have enough data to release a population report. And I was looking at the registries of the wrestling cards. There's two registries of wrestling cards, and the second place person in wrestling has two like WWF Classic Hogan slabbed in like a 7 or something like that. So they earned a lot of goodwill with me by having a conversation, communicating with me, and saying that they would grade these independent cards. So I'm going to wait and see how the order that comes back from them goes. And if everything's smooth, I'm definitely thinking about sending some more stuff to them and starting to kind of get some of these cards in a registry and show them off that way.
That'd be awesome, actually.
Yeah.
Love to see that journey. I'm sure you'll record your journey on that, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, his shows are great. One other thing I'd like to add is a lot of the OG wrestling card collectors who I appreciate very much and are always very helpful. When they've reached out to all of us, I think, and they said, congratulations, they knew what we had. And that really, and I had some wrestlers from Limitless reach out and say, that's awesome. So even if it was a couple people that really know what they are, you know, these are people that matter in the hobby, and it felt really, you know, it felt good that to be acknowledged.
You feel validated.
Yeah, it felt validated. It really did.
Put in a lot of time and effort and work into these sets. 3 of you guys did get this information, and so people start recognizing them, and now they're clamoring for it, and you see the values going up, and it's like all your guys' hard work is being validated.
Right.
So my hat's off to all 3 of you guys, man, for putting together this information. I can't wait to get more of it to put on the checklist site. So the more we have, the more we can help authenticate that. But I really appreciate you guys, man, taking some time out today, educating people on these card sets. These are kick-ass card sets that just kind of flew under the radar for a lot of people, and you guys just took the ball and ran with it, man.
Yeah. Thank you for having us. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Absolutely. So, getting the word out. That's cool, man. Getting the word out. That's cool.
Absolutely. So again, Tony, where can people find you on social media?
Oh, I'm at Cardboard Picker on Twitter. That's all I do. Twitter. That's it, man.
What about you, Matt?
M. Delakis on Twitter, and I'm active, so you know, check it out.
And Caleb.
I'm at Collecting with C on Twitter, and then at Collecting with Caleb on Instagram and YouTube.
You guys all part of the Discord channel too?
Yes.
No.
Yeah, that place has been blowing up today, man.
Yeah.
It's
a lot
just,
of messages.
A lot of messages. We got some new guys coming. They're like, hey, I'm just now, several new people joined the board saying, I'm just now getting into wrestling cards, and they're starting off with the AEW stuff.
Yep.
Like, I'm a Darby Allin fan. I'm an MJF fan. It's like that. Now they're going to watch this and go, I got to go after those, man.
You do not have all of them. I promise.
Oh my.
All right, guys. Well, for me, you can find everything you need to know about us at WrestlingTradingCards.com. I have shortcuts on the bottom of every page for all the social media accounts that we're a part of. I'm not on MySpace, sorry. And then, you know, just give a like, follow, complain, comment, you know, follow all these guys. Let's talk about these cards. Let's make them legitimate. Let's legitimize them. Let's talk about them and get them out there so that the graded companies go, hey, we got to take these seriously, man. So post your comments, and love to hear what you guys have to say about it. And with that, gentlemen, I say we are out.
Do what you think